So now we will see what is activity definition in some detail. Project charter includes start and end dates and budget information. Basically, project charter is a document which contains the information regarding the start of the project, the end dates of the project, and the budgetary information. Means when we have to start the project, when it will end, and what budget we require in order to complete this project successfully. Scope statement and work breakdown structure helps define what will be done. Basically, scope statement and work breakdown structure are composed of set of requirements or activities that we need to carry in order for the effective completion of the project. So basically, we have to define what activities we will perform. In activity definition, it involves developing a more detailed work breakdown structure. What is a work breakdown structure? Basically, a work breakdown structure contains all the information about the activities which we have to perform in a project. Basically, in a work breakdown structure, there is a list of milestones and related activities and tasks of that project which we have to deliver. So in activity definition, we have to develop a detailed work breakdown structure composed of milestones, activities and tasks we have to perform, and the supporting information and explanation to understand the type of the work to be done or complete, so you can develop a realistic cost and duration estimates. Only when we have the knowledge of activities of overall project, then we can develop the realistic cost and duration estimates. So now we will see what is activity lists and attributes. Activity list is a tabulation of activities to be included on a project schedule. So basically, it is a list of activities or tasks that we have to include in a project schedule. That includes the name of the activity, the number or identifier of an activity, a brief description of an activity. So these all things are considered when we are managing an activity list. So now we will see what is activity attributes. Activity attributes provide more information such as predecessors, successors, logical relationships, resource requirements, constraints, imposed dates, and assumptions related to the activity. So in order to define the activity attributes, we need to provide the information regarding the predecessor activities of an activity, the successor activities of an activity, the relationship of those activities, the resource requirements of those activities, the constraints or conditions imposed, and the dates which we strictly have to follow, and the assumptions related to that particular activity. So the next activity is activity sequencing. So the next process that we will perform here is called the activity sequencing. Making critical path analysis, we must first have to determine the type of dependencies in all activities. So now we will discuss the three types of dependencies. The first one is mandatory dependencies, the second one is discretionary dependencies, and the third one is external dependencies. So first, what are the mandatory dependencies? Basically, these dependencies based on the nature of the work we have to perform on a project. Sometimes they are referred as hard logic. Hard means you must have to consider these dependencies while performing a specific type of activity. So the next dependency is discretionary dependency. Basically, it is defined by the project team, sometimes referred to as soft logic, and should be used with care since they may limit the later scheduling options. Basically, these type of dependencies will be defined by your project team, and they are referred as soft logic, and it should be used with the proper care because they can limit your scheduling options. For example, don't start detailed design work until user signs off on all the analysis. So as we all know, first we have to complete the analysis phase and then we will work on design phase. So there is a dependency. Until and unless you will not complete your analysis phase, you will not move towards your design phase. So the third type of dependency is called external dependencies. External dependencies involve relationship between the project and the non-project activities. The project related activities and non-project related activities, like we can say the delivery of some new hardware. If we will delay this delivery, that it can impact on the project schedule. So in order to complete a project, if we can say in order to execute a project, if we need some new hardware, then if it will be delayed, it will have a strong impact on the project schedule. So basically, we have studied three types of dependencies here: the mandatory, which we must have to follow; the discretionary, which are the soft logic and it should be used; and the external dependencies, the project and non-project related dependencies.